Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our listeners to Leadership Talks. Leadership Talks is a podcast for emerging leaders who are on a transformative journey. Every week on Leadership Talks for emerging leaders, we invite leaders and emerging leaders to share their growth journey, their life experiences, so that they can inspire you with their learnings. Today, on this episode, Devesh and I will be hosting this episode on leadership journey in the pharma industry. Over to you, Devesh.
Thank you, Kiran. And today on this episode of Leadership Talks, I have privilege of having Mr. Savya Sachi, who currently works as president for domestic business unit for JB Pharmaceuticals and Chemicals, who has over 3 decades of experience, and he has held various positions with other key pharmaceutical organizations like Cipla and Dr. Reddy's in the past. His strength lies in providing strategic direction and in execution excellence. So welcome, Mr. Sachi, onto the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Devesh. Thank you, Kiran, for giving me this opportunity to share my experience.
Absolutely a privilege to have you, Mr. Sachi. Super excited, and I'm sure that our listeners will be equally intrigued with loads of learnings from your stories, your experiences, and what are your success mantras. So, Mr. Sachi, you started as a medical representative, and today
Yeah.
you are leading an entire domestic organization. Would you
Yeah.
be able to share with our listeners your leadership journey and how it has evolved over a period of time?
Yeah, actually, I started my career with Cipla as a medical representative in the year 1986. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
when I joined as a medical rep, Cipla, I had one clarity that this profession offer unrestricted opportunities of growth. That clarity was there with me that I have opportunity in this profession. I can grow to at any level. There will not be any restriction in my growth. But at the same time, I was not very confident, though I was optimistic. I was optimistic, and
Mm-hmm.
but I was not very confident whether I will be able to achieve the opportunity which are there. But at the same time, when I started working with discipline and with a lot of sense of responsibility, clear, and started getting good response, started building influence in surroundings, because when you work in the field, you interact with large number of people, whether doctors, pharmacists, stockists, industry colleagues, your own organizations, peers, seniors, clear. And when I started started this approach of mine, where with a lot of discipline and with sense of responsibility, started giving me a good result and a very positive influence in my circles. Clear? I started getting confidence that yes, I can achieve. Clear? And
Mm-hmm.
the opportunity which are available, I can work on those opportunities, and I
Mm-hmm.
can grow in this organization. But at the same time, I was very clear. My focus was not that yes, after 15 years, 20 years, what I'll become. My focus was on my immediate goal. Clear? Clear. So I think that is very very important when you do your everyday work with absolute clarity, commitment, sincerity, and with a lot of awareness and consciousness. Clear. Then over a
Mm-hmm.
period of times you are able to create a lot of value, not only for yourself
Mm-hmm.
but for your businesses also. And that value which you
Mm-hmm.
create certainly help you to achieve your goals of the life. Clear? Because that everyday work which you do in in your sphere of responsibilities, clear, help you clear, and that
To just
not only
grow.
help you in
Yeah.
terms of achieving your objectives, day-to-day objectives, it also give you a lot of learnings, clear. Ultimately, you start developing good learning for system and processes, clear. And not only learning,
Mm-hmm.
you develop convictions, because once you work with discipline, with the right system process, you see successes, you see failures, and those success failures give a lot of conviction to you, and those conviction build principles in you, clear. Those convictions put a lot of principles in you, and those principles ultimately drive your overall approach, clear. And then you start clear, obviously getting notice, and that maybe people believe in luck. I don't believe in luck. I always believe when you put your best uh, and to your roles and responsibility, then luck strikes you, clear.
Yeah,
Luck strike you because you become eligible for that luck, clear. And it happened with me also. In fact, I was managing the national sales of cardiovascular business in Dr. Reddy's. So in fact, all of a sudden I got opportunity of leading the biggest business of Dr. Reddy's. And this was a luck for me, because I never thought that at this age I'll get this opportunity of managing such a large business end to end. Clear? It was a business which was very large. It was around 50% of Dr. Reddy's domestic top line, and around 70-80% of bottom line business was there. So it was a very critical business for Dr. Reddy's, big business. But I got at a very early stage this business. So again, you can say it was luck, but I see it differently. It was not luck. It was my that I would say the work which I was doing from last so many years consistently has made me eligible
be
for
qualified.
that opportunity. Clear?
So there is this very
So
famous quote, Mr. Sachi, which is about
yeah,
that when preparation meets opportunity, that's known as luck. So that's what
Absolutely.
so
you were saying, that it has been that last many years of preparation, or last many of years of your hard work, which basically met with that opportunity, which normally people in their understanding just say that
yeah,
as luck. So
yes,
absolutely.
And I will just also add on to this, Mrs. Ati, that a lot of people call us that, oh, you're so lucky that you got that opportunity. But they
yeah, yeah,
actually don't realize the kind of hard work, the number of years that you have put into that point. So they always say, you can only see the tip of the iceberg. There's so much that has happened underneath that preparation, that hard work, that lack of confidence, that conviction that you had, which made you take that plunge and made
yeah,
you to reach that point where you could take up that opportunity. Back to you, Mrs. Sachi.
yes, yes, yes. You are right. You are right. Clear. So I think that is very, very
Yeah.
important that we should, when we are in journey, we should always focus in our present. Clear, in your current assignments, and if we do that assignment with a lot of discipline, with a lot of responsibility, and with a lot of
Mm,
openness, clear, and openness,
mm,
and so there is no reason why you will not get the right kind of outcomes, both in terms of your business outcomes and also outcomes in terms of your own development, your self development, clear. And over period of times
mm.
you will evolve yourself, and you will be in a position where obviously you can play a much bigger role in your overall professional
Organize.
responsibilities, because your
Mm,
deep understanding of business, clear, that certainly help you, clear. And not only
mm,
the deep
mm,
understanding of business, your convictions, and those convictions which you develop over period of time through your experience, clear. You can learn many things through books, clear, but those books will never give you convictions. But when you use
mhm.
those learnings and experience with those learnings, then you develop conviction, and those convictions shape your overall approach towards the business, because conviction help you to take long term decisions. Those conviction help you take a lot of risk in businesses. You can develop a very good long term thinking for the organizations, or clear, you can develop a very good strategic plan for the organization. if as a leader you have a right kind of convictions. Clear? I have seen many leaders, they don't have convictions, so they are not very consistent in terms of their approach, and especially in a business which is a long-term business where you need a lot of consistency. So you should have ability to see the that how whatever the decisions you are taking, whatever the strategic direction you are setting, how this is going to be in long term. Clear? So your convictions and your understanding of those basic business principles help you to take these decisions. Clear? And then you are able to develop right kind of strategic plan for the team. You are able to convince your team members also. Clear? You are able to involve them also. You are able to give them confidence also that this is going to work. And once team is aligned and the business plan is also clear, right business plan is there, so there is no reason why the outcome will not be there.
So good. Thank you, Mr. Sachi. And actually, this is so much what you said is so much aligned with our own leadership card thought process and mantra, where we talk about that it's so important that books can provide us a lot of knowledge, but it's all about that how we apply that in our daily work which we are doing, how we are able to really make sure that whatever we are learning, we are practicing that in our daily life so that we can see that improvement. And that's what you talked about, that how you build your conviction, how you made sure that those convictions can be put into real life work, and that gave you that confidence that you can take those risks in terms of to grow your organization to the next level. So my second question to you, Mr. Sachi, would be that while as an individual you made sure that how you remain optimistic, although initially you were not confident, but over a period of time by learning a lot of your own industry details about that, how in the pharmaceutical industry you can grow. One of the key thing has been that I have seen that all these big pharmaceutical industries have large teams, because you have to really reach out to the length and breadth of the country, and you would be managing probably few thousands of people in your organization who basically engages with the stockists, with the pharmacists, with the doctors. So how you have been really able to build those high performing teams who have those values of the organization aligned to them, and also at the same time you are making sure that they are action oriented and driving themselves toward those results which you want cumulatively to be achieved for the organization. So what has been your mantra towards that?
See, you are very right that in pharmaceutical industries you need a large teams, because this business model require one-to-one counseling of doctors. You have to approach large number of doctors one-to-one. You have to go and convince them to prescribe your product. There are more than 3 lakh pharmacies. You have to go and approach those pharmacies, ensure that your products are available. So this business is a very complex kind of business, and obviously it requires large team. And another peculiarity of this business is that there's no direct supervision of people who are working, because they are spread across the length and breadth of the country. Clear? In every district today we have reps. In fact, in many potential states we have reps in talukas also. Clear? So that kind of that operations are there, and most times field people are working without direct supervision. So obviously you have to create a system and process where people are aligned with the organizations. Clear? They are aligned with the goals of the organizations, and they have a very high motivational level. Clear? They should understand that their future depend upon the outcomes of the organizations. They should link their professional outcome to their personal and professional growth. Clear? So you have to create a very strong ethical discipline leadership. Clear? The most important thing is the field leadership should be very ethical and disciplined, and it is not that easy. Clear? Today not easy to in a very competitive industries to clear hold your good people and create environment where they are working with a lot of discipline. They have a very ethical behavior, and they are balancing between short term and long term. Because see, this industry is not, we are this information industry is basically where you are building brands, we are building relationship, which require a long-term approach. Clear? You cannot build brand overnight. You cannot build relationship. We are not into
Mm,
commodity sellings. Clear?
mm,
So,
mm,
though here again the field persons have targets, but at the same time their actual outcomes comes when they build brands, when they build relationship, which require a very longer
mm,
period of clear. So they have a monthly target also, they are accountable for that also. At the same time, the accountability is also for long term. Clear? Building brands and
mm,
building relationship and other networks which are required. So it certainly it rests on the leadership. Clear? What kind of leaderships you are developing, what clear, and what kind of I would say that overall organization approach is there towards leadership and towards business. Clear? So if your business is very ethical, clear, your business has very strong purposes, clear, that ultimately your business is to serve patients with quality products at affordable prices, clear.
mm,
So obviously you can convince your team members that you are there not only for your professional objectives, but you are also there to help society. Clear? So once you bring that purpose in that, that also create a different level of excitement. Clear? Plus,
mm,
at the same time, you have to ensure that they have the right kind of motivation. You have to create a culture where there is a lot of
mm,
respect for individuals. There is a balance between
mm,
short term and long terms. Clear? And
mm, mm,
organization. See, in a large organizations, you have to manage the individuals, you have to manage teams. At the same time, you have to manage organization. Organization's goals are there, organization objectives are there. So you have to balance.
yeah.
Clear? You have to balance between individual expectations, you have to balance between team dynamics, you have to balance between
Mm,
organization goals. And clear?
mm,
So it is a complex, but as I was telling you, when over a period of times you work every day, you practice this every day. So you develop certain convictions, and you develop certain principles. And with conviction, when you work on those principles, it become easy. Clear? It become easy. Clear? So here, I think approach of pharma industry is no doubt is uh, uh, or rather, I would say that in this complex kind of environment, because and a competitive environment, it is a challenging task, but it can be done very effectively.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sachi. So you very rightly said that it is a balancing act. You need to balance
mm,
between various elements which are there, whether it is the field teams which are there, definitely they are the messenger of the organization to various
mm,
doctors, to stockists, so they need to be ethical in their aspects of engaging with those third party people which are there, but at the same time you need to make sure that whatever goals you have set for the organization, that needs to
mm,
be achieved. And for that, how you can create that motivation for these field teams so that everyone is aligned
mm,
to their
Yes.
main goals. So this again takes me to the next question, which is about how you make that balance, even in terms of, because when we talk about in these pandemic times, it has given a huge opportunity to the entire healthcare industry, including pharmaceutical industries, where they can grow at a much faster pace, right? But we being in India, where we need to really balance it out, that as an organization, as a pharmaceutical organization, you need to continuously make sure that you are showing profitable growth to your investors who are there. But at the same time, because we are a developing country, we need to make sure that the drugs which are there are available at affordable prices. And how you just create that balance between these two conundrums, which are so critical for your success, for your organization success. So how from the organization point of view you handle with these types of challenges, uh, uh, Mr. Sachi?
See, this again, this pandemic has also taught us a lot of lesson. Clear. In fact, in pharmaceutical industry is having one of the most complex supply chain. Today, in fact, our drugs are available at more than 3 lakh retailers, more than 50,000 hospitals. We have a network of 2,500 stockists, and then we have around 45 warehouses. We have 7 plants manufacturing our products. Then we have another 30 locations where we are getting our product manufacturers. Each product which we produce has at least 30-40 ingredients. A lot of APIs are there, excipients are there, packing materials, and all these are sourced from different locations. Clear? Different locations. Some come from China, some come from Europe, some coming from Africa, some South America. So it is a very, very complex. Clear? And it was a big challenge during this pandemic to ensure that smooth operation, to ensure the availability of drugs. And because of the lockdowns and because of a lot of disruptions and because of a lot of panic buying also, so all of a sudden the cost of supply chain has gone up drastically. Clear? So again, it was a challenge for organization because we are a regulated industry. We cannot pass that additional cost to the consumers. Clear? So this was a big challenge. But as an organization, I think that time we were not thinking about this. Clear? We were thinking only how to ensure that our products are freely available across. Clear? There should not be any kind of shortages because we know these products are very, very important. Any shortages will create hue and cry and will create a lot of discomfort and challenges for the medical fraternity. So I think very strong leadership in our organization has certainly helped. And I know that a lot of other challenges also there because see this our lot of standardizations are there. So it is not like that if we are not getting any product from one vendor, we can go to other vendor. It is not like that. Clear? So we have already approved vendors. Products can come from them only. So obviously it was a big task. I know those 2 years were very, very tough, especially for our supply chain team, how they have managed, how they have worked, and how they have ensured that there is no disruption. In fact, throughout these 2 years, our plants were not shut down even for one day. There was no shortages. And demands were very, very uneven. So demand was varying from 10% to 500%. This kind of variation was there in the demand. Some of the products were selling 10% for normal sale, and some of the products were shooting up to 500% also, like that. And it was very unpredictable also. It is not that that this kind of demand will come. Nobody thought that in March and April there will be this second wave of Delta. And all of a sudden, demand shoot-ups of some of our products, and you have to ensure that those products are. So it was a very, very Herculean task, and at the same time, we have to also be very, very sure that there is no kind of safety and other kind of risk for the employees. So obviously, company was working in multiple shifts so that work can be spread, and people minimum that one-to-one in that human contacts are there. So all those things, I think everything was done, and because of strong leadership which we have in our organizations, and that support of the our that employees, because as an organization we always have maintained a very healthy culture where company has always taken care of the employees. Employees are very much aligned with the organization. They are highly motivated. So everybody is supported, and as an organization, we could manage that normalcy in terms of the supply of our products, and there was no shortages of our products. And not only we have ensured that our existing products are available. We were also able to quickly bring a certain product which were needed for treatment of corona. Like we have launched certain drugs which are important. Recently, we have launched molnupiravir, which is now on the only approved drug for corona. So we have launched antigen test kits also. We have given those antigen test kits also. So all those things, company has taken care of the responsibility to help society, to help humanity in terms of managing this entire pandemic phase. So that was
Absolutely,
challenging, but still we could achieve it. And again, I'll give credit to the strong leadership and the strong motivation and other strong system and process and the infrastructures which we have, that has helped organization to manage this entire crisis. And we have done well during this, as you rightly mentioned, that despite this pandemic, as an organization, we have performed very well. We are fastest growing in the company of the industry today. And though there was challenges on managing the cost, but this growth has helped us to manage our overall balance sheet.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sachi. So,
There is
so
some.
coming to this, yeah, the last question that we have for our emerging leaders. You've shared so much on how the healthcare system has played such a fundamental role during this pandemic. There might be many of our listeners who might be, aspiring to join the pharmaceutical industry. Maybe we also have people who are already part of the pharmaceutical industry. So, in their growth journey, what would be your one message to them?
So I will say, see, this industry is a evergreen industry. In fact, in my career of 36 years, I have never seen that this industry is growing in a single digit. So that is one advantage. When growth is there, opportunities are also there. Clear? It is very basic principle. Clear? Right now, this industry is around $50 billion industry, and it is expected to achieve around 130 billion by 2030. So obviously, this industry will grow very fast in coming years, and the expected growth is 20% plus in next decade. So that 20% growth will certainly bring a lot of opportunities. Clear? So today we have that branded formulation business, API business. Now biotechnology business is also emerging very fast. And then a lot of export, generics, devices. So a lot of, I think, the businesses which are now taking a sizable size and becoming big. Domestic formulation business is right now around $25 billion, which is expected to be more than $50-60 billion by 2030. Similarly, API also, government has come out with the PLI schemes, and government is increasing now and encouraging now industry to develop that all kinds of supplies, domestic supplies. They're encouraging to come out with manufacturing and start manufacturing all the APIs today. In fact, our 60-70% API come from China. A lot of dependency is there in China. And this pandemic has also, I think, given this understanding clarity to everybody, including government, that this is one area where there should be self-sufficiency. In fact, in between, all over, I think this kind of challenges were there when there were a lot of problem in China because of whatever reason their plants were closed, and a lot of challenges in terms of getting API from China. Prices have gone up, everything. So government is also now encouraging. Government has come out with a very, very aggressive PLI schemes, and they are encouraging organizations to set up bulk drug units in India, other APIs, key starting materials manufacturing in India. So all these things will create a lot of momentum of growth in this industry. And this industry is going to do much better. Though already this industry is doing very well. In fact, we are. This is another area where India is very, very competitive. In fact, we are global competitive, and today we are exporting more than 25 billion worth of drugs to all over the world. Today, 40-60% generic products available in the US comes from India, and India is also one of the largest manufacturer of vaccine in the world. So, but this is going to further improve. Clear? India is going to become a powerhouse for pharmaceutical industry in next 5 to 10 years. And that will create, I think, huge opportunities. Huge opportunity for any individuals who want to join this industry will get plenty of opportunities. There are opportunity in manufacturing, there are opportunities quality controls, there are opportunity R&Ds, there are opportunity in sales and marketing. So everywhere opportunities are there. And for right candidates who want who have aspirations, who can work hard, and who are willing to make their career in the pharmaceutical industry, I think this industry will be very, very good for them to start their career.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sachi, for sharing with us your own leadership journey in the pharma industry, how many opportunities there are in this pharmaceutical industry. But my three takeaways from what our conversation have been: number one, that ethical leadership in an organization can bring the change, motivate the team to be ethical, even when the team is so is being managed remotely or in from diverse locations. So that's number one. Number two, as you were talking about, that this industry is all about building relationship. I mean, in order to be credible, in order for your stockists or people to actually pull your products forward, that relationship investment is so important, that it's going to help in the credibility. And number three, as you were saying, that even if you lack confidence in the beginning, have conviction about your short-term and long-term goals, as what you said. So this is what I would say to our viewers, that always believe in yourself there and have a vision towards the end and keep working towards it, because growth is possible for all of us. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to Mr. Sachi for joining us on Leadership Talks for Emerging Leaders, and we wish to see all of you next week again with another leader to share their leadership journey. Do follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and we will be seeing you next week. This is me, your host, Kiran, signing off along with Devesh Mohan, and thank you to Mr. Sachi.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Karan. Thank you,
Sachi.
Deves. Thank you very much.
Thank you.